Hello everyone, this is a new segment to the Aussies Elect channel, and it will be discussing important weeks in the Senate, where the Senate crossbench has used their powers to either support or reject a contentious piece of legislation. So this week has been particularly interesting, and that's why I've started this up because there's been three pieces of legislation which the government has been pretty much thwarted on. They thought that the crossbench may have given them enough support to pass it. As you know, the government needs 39 seats to pass any legislation. They have 35 seats currently, plus Bernardi, who almost always votes with them, so it's more like 36. So they need three more votes, and they have to go with two of the three crossbench, which is Jackie Lambie from the Jackie Lambie Network, the Centre Alliance, which is made up of Rex Patrick and Sterling Griff, and One Nation, which is made up of Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts. Of course, they can pass anything with Labour or the Greens, but on contentious pieces of legislation, it is very unlikely for Labour or the Greens to support them. So yes, this is the current makeup, and I will just cut just to what had happened this week with three pieces of legislation. So we've got the Medivac repeal, which Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts are supporting. The Centre Alliance, who helped install the bill in the first place earlier this year, are not going to support the Medivac repeal. And Jackie Lambie has said that she'd support it if she gets we're not exactly sure because I think she's like denying actually giving in if what's the real reason at this point anyway. It's currently 6:26 p.m. so things may have changed by the end of tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, she's saying that I think what she's saying is that she wants the idea of refugees being sent to New Zealand, I think up to something 150 from offshore detention centres to be back on the table. And if they do send a good amount of people to New Zealand for processing, she will vote for the legislation. Of course, she can change her mind. One Nation changed their mind on ensuring integrity, which is the third thing down there. Yeah, so Parliament does not sit next week, but it does sit the week after. So there is a chance that Medivac can be repealed if the government agree to Lambie's demands. She may vote for it anyway. I don't think the government is going to agree to her demands. They'll seem too weak to allow people to go to New Zealand. They've already rejected that idea, so I doubt, and I think that they'll just keep on having Medivac kind of as a way to blame Labour for any problems with refugees. Yeah, so and they could say like, oh, we tried to do it, but we got blocked. So yeah, so the cashless welfare card is another thing that has been talked about for a couple of months. Both Centre Alliance and Lambie are not supporting any more expansions to the trial. So there's a talk of a trial in the whole of Northern Territory, which is a lot of people. I think, well, Northern Territory has like 400,000 people in it or something. Well, only a certain number of them are actually on welfare, so they'll only apply to them. Anyway, so there's a lot of talk about that happening, and at the moment they're rejecting it. Pauline Hanson is in big support of it, and Malcolm Roberts from One Nation. But yeah, the Centre Alliance and Lambie said they need to go to the Northern Territory and talk to the locals to see if they want it. I mean, I guess like they could just make the card voluntary, like what Labor says, but I don't think the government wants to do that. I think they just want to put everyone on it. So yeah, that may happen next year. The Clashes Welfare Card is still on the table. It's not a complete rejection, but at the moment, it's not happening anytime soon. And ensuring integrity, which has been the biggest headlines, especially of today. One Nation said that they would support it, and they didn't. So Centre Alliance supported it, and Lambie, it was already pretty much known that she wouldn't support it because she wanted a bunch of amendments that the government weren't going to agree to. But it was a big surprise that One Nation, Pauline Hanson, Malcolm Roberts did reject it today. Huge headline, very embarrassing for the government. But yes, as you can see here, the government needs 2 out of 3 of them to get anything through, and they have not met that. They've only got 1 out of 3 on every piece of legislation, apart from maybe Medivac, but that won't be happening this week. Maybe in 2 weeks' time, we will see then. So ensuring integrity, I just want to show you exactly how the parliament ended up on that one. So almost everybody voted. The only people who didn't vote were the coalition. Four of them didn't vote, and then Labor, four of them didn't vote as well. So yeah, this is how it ended up. Labor and the Greens plus Lambie and One Nation were blocking the Ensuring Integrity Bill, and Coalition, the Independent and Centre Alliance, were supporting it. Four from the Coalition Labor didn't show up, but that doesn't really matter because if they did show up, if both of those parties showed up, it would have been blocked anyway. It would have been 38 to 38, actually. Yes, very close, very close. But yes, One Nation at the last minute changed their mind. They've provided pretty big statements for why that is. You can go have a look yourself. I'll link the Guardian kind of live article, which has been very helpful actually, for all those statements being made. But yeah, it just shows that even in a parliament where, I said that the Senate was kind of scary. I said that if anyone was not happy with the government's ideas, that it would be a little bit scary because they have 35 seats, 36 with Bernardi, and they only need three. But yeah, there has been a lot of trouble for them from these three parties. I'll call them Lambie, One Nation, and Centre Alliance. To get two out of three of them on board has been more difficult than I think a lot of people would have expected. Given that One Nation kind of is, they're similar, and Centre Alliance is also kind of like, there's somewhere between centre and centre right. They're very pro market and that kind of stuff. Saying that, like, you go on, they vote for you, and Centre Alliance is like more in common with the Greens, and like I think like Duncan Spender from the Liberal Democrats is who they've been the least common with. So who knows? Who knows? But yes, One Nation definitely not. Then they're definitely. I think they've been ramping up their criticisms a lot lately for the government. They're definitely trying to get some of the support. It's no longer really the conservative support that they're trying to get from the government. It's more just like disillusionment, or like the government being too pro business and pro cracking down, like pro authoritarianism, I'd say, has been going on lately. I mean, the cashless welfare card is pretty authoritarian, but yeah, Jackie Lambie definitely, especially Jackie Lambie, has been very difficult to deal with for the coalition. She's definitely left of centre anyway, so that's not too much of a surprise. But I think a lot of people also expected Jackie Lambie to roll over a lot more this week than she did, and a lot of people are very impressed with, she was playing hardball on, the all three of these legislations. All three of them she had issues with, and requested things that, in terms of the cashless welfare card, I think she's just requesting more time. Yes, all right. Not much else to say. I will do a video like this on any week where there's actually anything really important or interesting going on. This week was particularly one of that. It has been a terrible fortnight for the coalition in general, especially this week has been terrible for them. There's a lot of other issues, which I'm not going to cover. But really, this whole ensuring integrity thing was like the nail in the coffin for them. It couldn't have ended any worse than how it did today. Alright, I will be doing a video on if the 2019 election is a double solution. Somebody requested I talk about the Queensland election for next year, so I will be probably making a video on that too. Of course, soon I'll make some kind of prediction for the Senate for the 2022 election. Thank you for watching, everybody, and goodbye.